Hi, welcome back to Dr. TSA Series on our next segment of a spiritual discussion. My name is Dr. Terry O'Date, and our topic today is changing your lens. So, we're spiritual beings, right? Having a human experience. And what does that mean? I'm always asking that question because we're always asking these existential questions here on planet Earth. So imagine this for a minute. You're a spiritual being. You're a spiritual essence. You're in the spirit realm right now. And from that standpoint, you can see everything that's happening on Earth. And you decide that you're going to come to planet Earth. You've chosen your parents and you're coming to Earth. Now, some of you are going to say that's very difficult for you to accept because of some of the parents that we do choose. Some of them are not in our best interest, or some of them have done us harm, and some of them hasn't shown us love. Just envision this for a moment, okay? Allow yourself to just hear me out and go through this process with me. So you're in the spirit realm, and you are this spiritual essence, and you are looking down on planet Earth. Now, from that perspective, everything looks small. Everything looks like it can be accomplished. Everything from the spirit realm looking down on planet Earth looks so minuscule. I'll give you another analogy. It's like you being in an airplane and you flying into, let's say, California, Chicago, New York City, and you see all of these buildings. From the airplane view or from the bird's eye view, they look like they can be conquered. We'll take that same perspective as you being a spiritual essence, or the spirit essence in the spiritual realm or in the spirit realm, right? And you're looking down on planet Earth and everything looks conquerable. But you know that on this journey, or when you decide to land in New York City, you know that there are going to be some things that you're going to have to deal with. So being a spiritual essence, right, a spirit being in this spirit realm, you decide to pack a few things in your spiritual suitcase. Okay, so in your spiritual suitcase, you're packing courage, you're packing strength and fortitude, you're packing the will and the desire to be able to get up again. You're packing everything you need. You're packing the love that you know you're going to need to endure this arduous journey. Again, from the spirit realm, it doesn't look that difficult. It looks like it can be conquered. Okay, so now you're making your way to the to Earth, right? If you can't really accept that concept, let me add in, or if you can't really see it, let me add another perspective, one that we can all relate to. You have decided that you are going on vacation. Let's say Hawaii. Now, Hawaii is a far place, so you know you're going to have to pack a lot. So what do you pack? You pack your suitcase. In your suitcase, you're packing toothbrush, toothpaste, shorts, pants, swimming wear. You're packing shoes, you're packing suits, you're packing your toiletries, you're packing everything that you need to go across the country to go to Hawaii and out of your comfort zone, if I will. So you've packed everything that you're going to need to go to Hawaii. But you know what? You've also planned where you're going to stay. For the most part, some of you might have planned even your excursions. So for everything that you think you're going to do, you've packed something for it, right? That's clear. So take that example and apply it to you being, a spirit essence, coming from the spiritual realm, right? Coming from spirit realm, and you are making your way down on here on Earth. Why wouldn't you pack your essentials, knowing that you're going to need some hardcore essentials to endure some of the things you're going to have to endure on planet Earth? That's what we do. Okay, so let me move further. So now you get to planet Earth, right? Now your plane has touched down in New York City, and you've gone to New York City, you're in that Big Apple, and you can look up. You're amazed at these tall buildings, and you're in awe, and they look like they can conquer you, right? Take that same perspective. You've come now to planet Earth. You're born into the planet. You come out and you start crying. Wah, wah. You're saying, but wait a minute. This baby, right? Where am I? Why do I feel like I'm stuck somewhere? What is this? So you've come to planet Earth, and now you have to mitigate your way of your energy being minimized to be able to maneuver this physical body that you are in. And now you are dependent on someone to take care of you, to feed you, to change you, to raise you, to mold you. So we go through that process. We've all experienced challenges in our families. We've all experienced challenges in school. We've all experienced challenges in some way, form, or fashion. As you grow up and you are molded by those who are bringing you up, you begin to forget what you've packed in your suitcase. The more you endure the challenges and you conclude negatively on those challenges, the more you forget who you really are and what you packed in your suitcase. Interesting, right? So from the standpoint of spirit realm, everything looked conquerable, everything looked easy. But now on planet Earth, you're going through a lot of challenges. And so those who were empowered to, or those who were given the responsibility to take care of you, are doing that to the best of their knowledge or the best that they can do. But you're here now and you're forgetting more and more about what you came with in your suitcase, who you really are. So we go through sadness, we go through depression, uncertainty, we ask existential questions, we go through trauma, we go through unfortunate circumstances in our lives, we have arguments, we're not satisfied, we're not pleased, we don't know what our purpose are, we're not at peace. So what should you do at that point? A lot of times people do seek counseling, talk to those they trust, speak to family members that they trust, and sometimes people don't say anything at all. And when that happens, sometimes people go deeper and deeper into this abyss of emotions and sadness and really don't have a positive outlook on who they are. So now we forget that we are spiritual beings having a human experience. We've totally forgotten that. And we have taken on identities that has been given to us by other people, by our family, by our schools, by our religions, by our friends, by whatever society puts out for us, however society defines us. We have taken on all of those identities, those false identities, if I may. And the more we take on those identities, we have to behave in such identities based on who or what we've been told about ourselves. But we've forgotten, you have forgotten who you are, what you came here to do, what your purpose is, what your plan was when you came here and touched down on planet Earth. You have forgotten all of the planning that you did. You have forgotten the tools and the skills that you packed in your suitcase for this experience as being a spiritual being, having a human experience. Your self-esteem is very low, and you can't figure out why your self-esteem is very low. Why? Because you are seeing yourself as the identities you have taken on, as these false identities you've taken on. And so because you've taken on these false identities, your self-esteem has gotten low. Your self-esteem is lower than when it came here as a child. If your self-esteem is low, we often make decisions from the level or from the point in which we see ourselves and what we think we are deserving of. So when you have poor self-esteem, you make poor decisions because subconsciously you think you deserve it. How do you switch your lens back to that of being a spiritual essence, a spirit being having a human experience? How do we elevate our self-esteem? How do we recall and remember what we wanted to do, what our purpose was and is when we touch down on planet Earth? That's the question that I want you to ponder on. And I'll mention it or talk about it in a minute, but I want you to think about that for 1 second. So you want to switch your lens. In order for you to do that, after taking on so many of these different identities, you're going to want to take some time to yourself and reflect. You're going to want to ask your spirit. You're going to want to reflect. Some of you meditate. You're going to want to go through these experiences where you're quieting the chatter in your mind and you allow yourself to go into a deep relaxation. And you want to put out the energy, you want to put out the request to your spirit that you want your spirit to show you aspects of your highest self, to remind you of those aspects, to remind you, to show you aspects of your higher self so that you can begin to redevelop your sense of self. Because right now, your sense of self is rooted in all of these false identities that does not have anything to do with you, your true sense of self. So you're going to want to reflect. You're going to want to ask your spirit to show you aspects of yourself. Why is that important? It's important because without seeing who you really are and beginning to redevelop your self-esteem based on who you really are, then it will be very difficult to raise your self-esteem. There are other ways, of course, but where are they rooted? And what I'm explaining to you today is being able to root your self-esteem in the true identity of who you are, which will be much substantial, very substantial, in that if it's rooted in your spirit, it's bound to last longer. If it's rooted in your spirit can then help you out of the funk, if I may say, in which you're experiencing right now. So when you're asking your spirit to show you aspects of yourself, when your spirit has revealed that to you, and it doesn't happen automatically, and sometimes people ask me, how long is this going to take? How long? Well, how long did it take to build the current esteem or the current way of living or your perspective of yourself now? It might have taken 20 years, it might have taken 30 years, it might have taken 50 years. And a lot of times people ask me, how long is this going to take? Well, start the process. And don't be so worried about how long it's going to take, but enjoy every minute of this journey of rediscovering who you are. You were patient enough to develop your false sense of self for so many years. Allow yourself the same grace and patience to redevelop your self-esteem, reconnect with your higher self, and build a substantial journey in rediscovering more and more and more of who you are. So it may take a while before your spirit can show you aspects of yourself. But the more you ask and the more you create that space in which your spirit can reveal that to you, then your spirit will reveal that to you. When your spirit has revealed aspects of who you are in your higher self, grab onto it, hold on to it. And this is where I want you to visualize yourself becoming more and more and more like that strong essence, that powerful essence, that essence that has beauty and peace and love and laughter and happiness. I want you to hold on to that and ask your spirit to show you what it is you need to work on to embody that. Once your spirit shows you who you really are, you can use and imagine yourself. This is where we use imagination. This is where we use visualization. You imagine and you visualize yourself operating in this highest point of self-esteem, this higher self. The more you envision it, the more you become it. The more you put energy towards that, the more you become it. Before you know it, you will feel and experience things you thought you might have lost for a very long time. You will begin to feel and live your life in a way that you never thought you would have lived your life. The things that used to bother you and the things that you used to fret over and the things that you used to be sad about or depressed about, you now have a different lens in which you've taken on to view the life that you're living now. You've now switched the lens of that you've operated in with the identities that were given to us in society, and reclaimed your lens, your spiritual lens, and how you ought to operate on this earth. And with those spiritual lens and via reflection and meditation, what is revealed to you are the skills and the tools that you've packed up in your suitcase, with an understanding that this journey has to be conquered. And the way you conquer it is with the tools that you've packed in your suitcase. Those tools are in your spirit. And that's why it's important to reflect, to quiet the mind, to meditate, so that you can access those tools that are lodged in your spirit. Because you packed it. You saw before you got here what are some of the things that you came here to endure. And you packed everything you needed in that suitcase. And if you didn't, if you forgot something, your spirit will show you where to get it. Your spirit will show you who can help you. Your spirit will show you your guides here on this planet to offer assistance, help, support. Remember who you are in this moment. Remember that if you are going through things, struggles, circumstances, spiritually, you will never ever be left alone. Because the spirit within you is an extension of your higher self. Rather said, or better said, your higher self is an extension of what is within you. So ask your spirit to show you aspects of your higher self and grab onto that. As you begin to see yourself and envision yourself as your higher self, you become more and more and more like it in your spirit, in how you operate, in how you behave. You begin to glow. You begin to experience things and have an understanding that these experiences are there to make you stronger, to earn more and more of your life, to earn more and more of your gifts, and that these struggles are not happening because you are no good. These struggles are not happening because you're less than. Your struggles are happening because you have to conquer it, overcome, and get to the next level, and the next level, and the next level. This game of life is not a game without an opponent. It's important to view these struggles as your opponent and something that you have to achieve. View these struggles as a hurdle, something that you have to get over and accomplish. Every time you run that hurdle race, aren't you happy that you did it, that you worked hard and accomplished it and got to your goal? The same perspective applies to the challenges that we endure in life. You have the tools, you have the power, you have the skills within your suitcase, in your spirit. You packed it. Open up your suitcase and find it. Find some time to reflect, meditate, and allow your spirit to reveal to you, to remind you what you came here with. Thank you for watching. Love and light to you all. Namaste.